Mandalorian is back for a second season, with a premiere that embodies everything frustrating and compelling about the series. Most obviously, the premiere leans rather heavily on the fan service. The Mandalorian continues to treat Star Wars as a sacred text, most obviously in the early scenes of the title character returning to Tatooine. The music soars, the episode cycles through the obligatory establishing shots, there's even a Tusken on a bantha. It would all be a bit much, even if the show hadn't already done a big Tatooine episode in the middle of its first season. What follows is a barrage of fan service and name dropping. There are Jawas, there are Tusken Raiders, a new character is introduced, literally wearing Boba Fett's armor, just in case the show hadn't dropped enough hints that Boba Fett was coming back this year. To give the episode some credit, The Mandalorian is aware of this tension. The driving question of the season premiere isn't if Boba Fett is coming back, but when. The premiere does at least hold back that money shot until its closing moments. More than that, The Mandalorian seems to almost subconsciously comment on its obsession with the earlier Star Wars films, most obviously when the Marshal discovers that the Jawas have literally built a shrine to Boba Fett, and later when it is revealed that the dragon is nesting in an empty Sarlacc pit. In some ways, the image of a man wearing an ill-fitting costume that doesn't belong to him feels like an expression of the biggest issues and deepest anxieties of the show to this point. That said, there's a lot to like here. As writer and director, Jon Favreau demonstrates a willingness to look just far enough outside of Star Wars to keep things interesting, often working to contextualize the franchise in interesting ways. The dragon itself is interesting in this light, in the ways that it evokes two other texts inexorably tied to Star Wars. Most obviously, it recalls the sandworms from Dune, which probably seemed like it would be a more contemporary reference when the episode was scripted and shot, when Dune was still releasing later this year. Still, even outside of that context, it's a nice acknowledgement of a text that inspired Lucas in creating Star Wars. The premiere also draws heavily from Jaws. At the climax, Favreau pushes in onto the elephant's face in a way that deliberately evokes one of the most iconic shots from Jaws. Much like the shark from Jaws, the creature is killed when it chomps down on some explosive canisters and they are detonated inside its mouth. These references serve to pair Star Wars and Jaws, the two movies that heralded the end of the New Hollywood movement and ushered in the modern blockbuster age. It's interesting to see The Mandalorian making that connection so explicit. Most interesting is the way in which Favreau evokes the Western. The casting of To the Elephant does a lot of the legwork here. Favreau uses Oliphant like Tarantino did in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, using Oliphant's association with Deadwood to present him as Hollywood's only modern cowboy. The first season Mandalorian drew more explicitly from samurai films than from westerns, but here Favreau is explicitly channeling the imagery of the American frontier. This allows for the most interesting aspect of the episode, its development of the Jawas and the Tuskens. If Favreau is looking to the Western in the season premiere of The Mandalorian, he's filtering it through a post-colonial lens and offering a welcome update to the genre template. The second season premiere of The Mandalorian is a solid showcase for the series. It is exceptionally well made, lavishly produced, and it knows what the audience is here for. That includes plenty of adorable reaction shots of the child, and even a nice men-at-work montage of them laying traps for the creature. Still, it suffers a little too much from nostalgia and pandering. If this is truly the way, I just wish it was more forward-looking.